Something came up on social media recently where I wrote that I feel like they don't really pay attention to you. And this guy came to write that Charlie be your bro.
Last week,
yeah.
You can't do an entire song in Tree?
No, I can't.
Why?
That's how I did Vera. So I traveled with Reggie. She was signed by Glow.
Yeah.
And I was his road manager before that.
He has always been a businessman.
And he brought the deal.
I brought the deal. He was there when I brought the deal.
Yeah. So Reggie said, nah, man.
Recently, sorry to catch you, the Wuta banter. And I think one of them said I think they said you took some money or something like that.
Of course, he has to take a commission.
Of course.
Reggie said,
I had a fallout with Reggie.
Yeah, he knows everything. Reggie said, no, I'm the originator of Hiplife. You can't take a cut off my business. So Reggie went to look for the Glow office himself and walked there.
So we had
without telling the person who brought the deal. He said, no, you can't take a cut off.
So
take a cut off everybody.
So the whole thing with Ambule, this is the basis for it.
Right.
So Reggie gets the Glow deal. And he says, manager Yanko. So that was my first year in music as an artist myself. From the Glow deal, 0.
Really? Yeah. You were his manager?
I know, but we were spending like every weekend with Reggie.
It was
every day.
It was a privilege.
Yeah. D-Black was like every day. I spent my Saturday and Sunday with him. Yeah. And this is what had happened. Ochame Kwame was staying with me and had won Artist of the Year. So Reggie's deal originally was for Ochame Kwame.
Really?
But it was MTN.
Yeah, I think I've heard you say.
Ochame had won Artist of the Year, which meant it was then a 1-year deal with MTN. So who was I going to look out for? Charlie was my immediate people. So Reggie.
So Reggie takes me.
You ball.
Reggie takes me and Reggie's listening to. I'd just gone for the BTs and come. So Reggie said, okay, the next song. What's your next song? So I played him all these songs. And it's all English rap. He said, so you know if you do 3 songs because he realized that same thing was with him when he was in the States. Yeah. He was rapping in English. He came to Ghana, did the Hiplife, and then it worked out. So he said, do the same thing. Unfortunately for me, growing up, they didn't speak Tree at home. It was English and Ga. So my Tree, I didn't have a firm enough grasp of Tree to write music in Tree. Yeah, even my pronunciations were funny. So it's when I went to boarding school from 16 to 18 that I learned Tree in Koforidua. So my Tree wasn't that good. So he said, okay, what about Pidgin? Or let Sark or D-Crime write something in Tree for you. I said, nope, nobody can write for me. He said, what about Pidgin? I said, yeah, I could do Pidgin. And he says, okay, tomorrow when he goes for the shoot, he'll leave me to write the Pidgin song. So I translated an English song into Pidgin. And that was Vera.
Oh.
So we landed in Accra. I went straight to the studio, recorded it. Joey B lived next to me.
Right.
So I finished the song. He heard it. He said he wanted to be on it. I was like, yeah, I'm mad. Forget about it. And then he spoke. I said, oh, let him try. If you like it, we'll keep it. I went to bed. When I woke up, he had done it. And I liked it. So I kept it. And that was my first Pidgin.
That was your biggest jam, man.
Yeah, 2012.
I think it still is.
April.
We're supposed to record something as well.
Your biggest jam.
I think maybe Seho with Castro.
Hey, that's huge.
Or Enjoyment Minister.
About Vera. Vera's huge, yo. And at that time, the Azonto craze. Yeah. Vera, I think it's Vera. But how do you feel?
But there's something about Seho, you know.
That's how I start shows, though. I start a lot of shows with
person.
When you hear boom, boom, boom,
I know.
It's about to go down.
Yeah, and you know the funny thing about Seho? Breezy produced it in my house.
Yeah.
That beat was in that house for about a year. He played it for me. I said I didn't like it. Becca came to the house to record it. He listened to the beat. Didn't like it. Joey B heard it. He didn't like it. VIP came to do selfie when they became VVIP.
Usana.
No, with Reggie.
Didn't like it. EL came. EL didn't like it. Reggie and VIP too didn't like it. Castro came. He heard it that day. He said, "Oh, I want to do some small freestyle for top."
And that was it.
So then he starts, and you know what he's freestyling about? He
never writes any song.
He's dissing Chatterhouse.
Castro has never written anything.
Oh, he was dissing Chatterhouse.
Because there was an award from the VJMAs that just ended. He had a song with Asamajan and Kofi Kinata.
Right. Big song.
Yeah, the highlight.
In fact, my favorite
highlight. They wanted highlight song of the year, and they gave it to somebody else. So he said, "Man, I'm to say I want your media."
Oh, that was the original.
Then he said I should freestyle on it too. Let's all this Chatterhouse. So I'm looking at this person who's singing, and he's not writing. I said, okay, me too. All right. But I'll add 3 to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I'm just having fun.
Okay.
That's why I started. And if you listen well, my verse starts with some funny tree beats.
Some tree beats. Funny.
I thought my tree no good.
And Castro were laughing at him.
Castro too didn't tell me the correct tree.
Okay.
Because I thought we're just doing a freestyle.
Okay.
This guy goes home.
Just goofing on it.
Yeah, he goes home. And then he calls the next day and says, I go come out the Chatterhouse matter for inside. Do something else for there. And that's my next single. I said, how? I thought he was joking. Like joke. On his birthday, he brought promo CDs. Said, huh? Castro featuring D Black. He said, this is a song I'm going to release. And he released it on his birthday. And it became the biggest song. The freestyle that he did. Life is 30.
Yep.
Everybody here in this room has done maybe 2 decades max.
Yeah.
Being in the industry.
Me, 3.
3 decades.
Yeah.
Andy, how old are you?
It doesn't matter, man.
I was a baby.
I've done 30 years. I started in 94.
When you say Hiplife, the originator of Hiplife, right? Is it the person who coined the term, the word? The person that made it popular? Or the person that used the word Hiplife in music for the first time? Who do we laud for Hiplife?
I think it's the person who put that word or called their album a Hiplife album. Mm-hmm. If we had a conversation about, our music for this genre, or we for have our own genre, and that conversation stayed in this room, never got on any record, it's not.
Yeah.
It stayed here. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the person that first put it out and made it known to the public that this is what we're calling
this song or this album.
Or this album or this genre of music.
Yeah.
This is a new revolution starting from now. Mm-hmm. And this is what it's going to be called. Not what was discussed indoors. Nope.
Yeah. What's your take on this?
Yeah. Okay. People have started rapping.
Oh, long time. It wasn't called Hiplife.
But it wasn't.
No.
We had heard from Mahoney P. Even Talking Drums. Mm-hmm. There was a guy called Mike Sequissy. I don't know where the guy. I don't know where he is. Mike Sequissy, another brilliant rapper. I'm very sure there are a lot of names. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Reggie.
Even when we're talking about rap in Ghana, sometimes KKD's name is forgotten.
KKD. Yeah, KKD.
KKD.
Oh wow!
It's like a huge false
KKD did a feature for
KKD.
Who was that? There was a
Thomas Frimpong. Seniwa.
Yep.
KKD rapping.
Yeah.
And he rapped in Cree.
Yeah. This was before Reggie.
Yeah,
before Reggie, yeah.
And there was another song, that was just... No, that was not Seniwa.
Seniwa
was Chazamoa's song.
No. So, there's a Chazamoa version of Seniwa.
Right.
And
Thomas Frimpong.
They worked very closely together.
Right.
From the KJC.
Right.
Yep.
KJC. Okay.
Afro Voice.
So okay, and
so what KOD says points in the direction of Reggie Rockstone.
Reggie Rockstone, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, yes, because he put it out for us to hear it first. Mm-hmm. Mind you, it was not a Hiplife album. Mm-hmm. It was only the mention of the word
Hiplife in the song.
Hiplife in the song. Was it Choboy? I think that was Choboy, right?
Yeah.
That was Choboy. Choboy, which one did he sample the stylistics?
He knew a sample.
Most of Reggie's songs are samples.
Doom. People.
Yeah.
That was Choboy.
Choboy.
Right? Yeah. So Choboy, that was the first time we heard Hiplife. The album was straight hip hop. Mm-hmm. Because it was just
old school beats and
Because the first Sweetie was a sample of Alexander O'Neal. Choboy was a sample of Stylistics.
Charlie.
Let them rough. Yo, I mean,
Keep Your Eyes on the Road. And all
Keep Your Eyes on the Road came later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first album,
Yeah,
all
first
of
album,
it,
was
hip
samples.
hop, straight hip hop.
Yeah.
Then the proper definition of the word hip life came when Achiame stepped in with Messanaba.
But you know the interesting thing about in actual fact, was it Messanaba?
Wait,
no, Achiame had an earlier track.
No, that was
Brebro Bahima, yes,
Right.
with Rutai.
With Rutai,
Now, Brebro Bahima was actually a sketch from Reggie.
It was a sketch.
Reggie Rockstone or the assigning
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
thing, same person,
progression.
same Adwa progression.
Yeah.
You know, and for Reg, it was a skit.
Right.
And then Achiame used it as a song, like
Right.
that
Right.
same Adwa, 99,
Right.
whatever they call it.
Right.
You know, as a song. That's when the whole thing started changing. So Obodem's coming in later to do the whole Adwa
Right,
thing.
right.
You know,
Reggie had already done it.
Reggie had already done
Right.
it, but made popular by Achiame.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that was it. It was because even with Brebro Bahima,
So why do we get
Achiame
this?
redefined
they
hip-life.
did.
Yeah.
They did.
You know?
So why do we get the bickering back and forth with Panji, with
No,
Zab
that one
Mallet?
it will never change. I think that bickering back and forth with Panji and Reggie Rockstone is like the story of Kwame Nkrumah, JB Dankwa, the Big Six, and the so-called who coined the name Ghana. You know what I mean? JB Dankwa and his people, they believe that yes, they chose that name before Ghana attained independence. But who named it Ghana? Under whose leadership was the country changed? The name changed from Gold Coast to Ghana. It was Kwame Nkrumah.
But
It is so real. If you want to give credit, it was not the conversation they had indoors in
No,
1948.
But
studio.
Reggie was on this show, and I asked him, "Where did you first hear Hiplife?" He said his father. He said his father sat him down and said, "The thing you try to do, no, brand them."
You know, Saint Osei, he
Highlight
really
the hip-hop.
understood what
He did, but you see, if you listen, Ibrahim Onijan is telling his side, Zab Mallet, and I called my Michael Holbrook,
Michael Holbrook.
Holbrook, yeah.
and look, at a point he was not even interested. He didn't want to go further, especially with how the word came up and Reggie's claim that I mean, it's.
But who first called their album a Hiplife album? Because until recently, when you go on on the CD sleeves and cassette sleeves, you're sure genre Hiplife.
Yeah.
Who first called theirs Hiplife? It wasn't just saying once I made it up for the Hiplife. I think there was something like that.
Check it out.
Yeah, check
for
it out,
the
Hiplife. No, forget.
But you know the funny thing?
Yeah.
It can't be any of the other people we've mentioned because they didn't have albums.
Exactly.
Panji didn't have an album. Zabala didn't have an album. Reggie's the
but
rapper.
I mean,
But Panji
Reggie
wasn't
was
singing.
part
He was a
of-
producer.
and you see, check it out.
so Panji is more like Zap in this case. He was part of the creation.
Yes.
Yeah, but for the one that decided to make it known to the public, where did we first hear it?
It's Reggie's album, first one.
You heard the word Hiplife on Reggie's
Reggie's
song.
album.
Yes.
But I asked him, where did the word come from? Were you guys in the studio? Were you guys all creative? He said, no, in Poppy. So once the word came from there, it can't belong to anybody else.
Yeah.
If it was from his dad, no one is disputing. However, Zab didn't just say it was him and Reggie in the studio when the first word came. He mentioned I think there were two more people in there who also claims that it all came that, hey, Charlie, wait there, hip life, wow.
But definitely, Nipa Bakone can effect.
Yeah, there should be somebody who.
Okay, when I can't,
When I can Reggie, when I hits. When I buy your name money hits. Something like that.